Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the graduation ceremony for graduates of the Faculty of Environmental Sciences and graduates of the Faculty of Science and Technology. In a few minutes, the graduation ceremony will commence. The procession of staff will enter first. After a brief pause, the university fanfares will announce the entrance of the dais party. I will signal to you by this action that you are to rise and remain standing until both the staff procession and the dais party are seated. Please do not stand until I ask you to. May I also remind you that flash photography is prohibited in this auditorium. For the mutual comfort and enjoyment of all members of the audience, the university requests your cooperation in observing this rule. Thank you.
Deputy Chancellor, Mr. Norman Fussell, fellow members of the Council of Griffith University, Foundation Chancellor Sir Theodore Bray, past members of Council, Vice-Chancellor Professor Roy Webb, British Consul General Mr. John Durham, Mr. Alex Freeligas, Honorary Consul General for Greece, Mr. Graham McMahon, Managing Director and Chief Executive of Ansett Transport Industries, Mr. Gwyn Jones, staff and students of the University, graduates, ladies and gentlemen. It's the custom for Griffith University and its guests to gather to celebrate the conferral of academic awards on its graduates. The occasions hold significance for the graduates, their families and friends, and for the entire university community. As Chancellor of Griffith University, it's my pleasure to extend a very warm welcome to everyone present, and I extend my personal congratulations to each of the graduates. Tonight's ceremony will have a special character. In addition to acknowledging the commitment and effort of our graduates and recognising the outstanding service given to the university by two of our guests, we will be honouring a distinguished Queensland pioneer aviator, the late Mrs. Loris Bonney. In paying this tribute to a remarkable woman, we're delighted to welcome as our special guest Mr. Graham McMahon, Managing Director and Chief Executive of Ansett Transport Industries, as I have already said. We look forward to his address later in the proceedings. This is the second of our graduation ceremonies to take place today. This afternoon, graduates from the Faculty of Commerce and Administration were acknowledged. Tonight, we honour graduates from the Faculty of Science and Technology and the Faculty of Environmental Sciences. There will be included the first graduates from the School of Microelectronic Engineering, one of 4 schools in the Faculty of Science and Technology. They have completed a professional 4-year engineering course recognised by the Institution of Engineers, and their graduation represents a landmark in the life of the university. One new aspect of the Microelectronic Engineering course is the Industrial Affiliates Program, which is run in partnership with local electronic industries and provides senior students with an industrial setting for the purpose of undertaking their projects. It's highly successful, and the university is pleased to have the valuable support of its growing number of industry partners. The past year provided significant teaching initiatives within the Faculty of Science and Technology, and mention should be made of some of them. During 1993, the School of Science enrolled its first students in a Bachelor of Science with Advanced Studies course designed for students of outstanding ability. Those who are involved complete all of the requirements of the BSc course and perform additional assessment and project work under the guidance of academic staff mentors. Access to research laboratories for project work is a feature of the course. In 1993, the undergraduate Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Information Technology degree courses offered in the School of Science and the School of Computing and Information Technology were restructured. Graduate diplomas and coursework masters in clinical biochemistry, clinical microbiology, clinical physiology and biotechnology have been offered for the first time this year. These are vocationally oriented courses which include project work undertaken in the workplace. This is made possible through the cooperation of local hospitals and companies. A combined Bachelor of Microelectronic Engineering, Bachelor of Information Technology 5-year course and a combined Bachelor of Commerce, Bachelor of Science 4-year degree are being offered for the first time this year. New third-year subjects in computer graphics and image processing are offered in the School of Computing and Information Technology. To support the teaching of these subjects, a new undergraduate laboratory has been installed with state-of-the-art graphics workstations. The facility, which cost $200,000, is the most advanced undergraduate graphics laboratory in Queensland. The Faculty of Science and Technology has maintained and developed its leading research role within the university. The faculty currently has 113 postgraduate students enrolled in MPhil and PhD research higher degrees, and in 1993 it received research funding totalling $4 million. This included $1.9 million from the Australian Research Council and the National Health and Medical Research Council. The Australian Research Council has provided funding for a consortium of Queensland universities led by Griffith University to enable a parallel supercomputer costing $1.3 million to be installed at Griffith University. This, the most powerful computer in Australia, will be used by the consortium members for computing research and for investigating the application of supercomputing in science, environmental science, engineering and other disciplines. The Australian Software Quality Research Institute is an allied centre of the faculty. It is one of 3 international centres developing an international standard for software process improvement and capability evaluation, and is known as the SPICE project. I turn to the Faculty of Environmental Sciences, which has also managed notable achievements over the past 12 months. The faculty continues to attract significant research grants and consultancies. It is a partner in the Cooperative Research Centre in Tropical Rainforest Ecology and Management. There were 9 successful national competitive grant applications in 1993, with a total value of almost $700,000. Faculty centres and units successful in obtaining funds over the past year include the Waste Management Research Unit, the Centre for Catchment and In-Stream Research, and the Institute for Applied Environmental Research. A particularly significant research grant of $400,000 per annum for 5 years was received in 1993 from the Land and Water Research Development Corporation to support the study of riparian zone management. The Environmental Sciences and Engineering Graduate School has expanded its offerings, and there is an array of postgraduate programs in water care. 2 particular reviews of the graduate school, both internal and external, have reported most favourably on its operations. In 1994, it enrolled 350 students, including almost 90 in research higher degrees. The first students graduate tonight from the School of Applied Mathematics and Statistics, which is now in its 4th year of operation. One of those graduates, Miss Michelle Gatton, will receive the University Medal. A similar honour is accorded also to Ms Shannon Rutherford, a graduate of the Australian School of Environmental Studies. That school continues to attract large student numbers, and new legislation in areas of pollution control, conservation and workplace health and safety will increase employment opportunities for its graduates. The first students from the Bachelor of Engineering course in Environmental Engineering will graduate next year. Almost 40% of the enrolled students are female. There is a new building under construction on the Nathan campus to house the operations of the Faculty of Environmental Sciences. It's scheduled for occupancy in June this year. It's natural to feel pride in the achievements of an institution as progressive and innovative in its outlook as Griffith University. The high ranking of the university in the recent National Quality Assurance Round was especially pleasing and, as we feel, deserved. Our many graduates have earned success and acclaim in Australia and overseas. Those who graduate tonight will take their place amongst a growing band of whom the university is justly proud. As we continue with tonight's proceedings, I express warm congratulations to each of our graduates and extend to them our best wishes for their lives ahead. I now call on the Deans of the Faculties of Environmental Sciences and Science and Technology to present graduates who are to receive their awards at this ceremony.
Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Statistics. Rick Allsop. Rosalind Coombs. Vincent McClarity. Daniel McMahon. Julia Sands. Michael Townsley. Arlene Wiseman. Bernard Wright. Chancellor, I present to you graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science in Australian Environmental Studies. Estelle Bain. Michelle Baxter. Amanda Bresnan. Danielle Brodie. Benjamin Brooks. Matthew Bryce. Dean Berman. Ben Carroll. Rachel Carter. Matthew Chenery. Emma Clark. Elaine Cornwall. Paul Cranfield. Angela Daly. Craig Elliott. Eddie Ugster. Mark Foreman. Simon Forsyth. Shannon Gay-Lear. Catherine Gashk. James Gooding. Thomas Grice. Paul Groening. Kelly Hayden. Matthew Haywood. Wendy Heath. Vanessa Hughes. Jenny James. Andrew Johnston. Stephen Kalmar. Greg Keith. Dominica Kellaway. Dan Kelly. Brett Kruger. Martin Lambert. Tanya Levitt. Nicholas Leddy. Rachel Lundberg. Dimity Linus. Kirsten Lyons. Catherine Money. Peter McBride. Bernadette McCarthy. Lainey McCasker. Magella McIntosh. Helen McManus. Scott Mears. David Mills. Andrew Milner. Leanne Moffat. Mark Moore. Tracy Muller. David Nalder. Peter Negus. Philip Nerlich. Brendan Nelson. Theron Poole. Rebecca Rischert. Jody Schubert. Monica Sini. Louise Staria. Christine Steeden. Louise State. Christine Steeden. Catherine Stevenson. Terry Sutherland. Shane Talty. Damien Taylor. Ken Hughes. Peter Varney. David Ward. Scott Whitney. Ajitha Wimalaratne. Leisha Woolshot. Chancellor, the Medal for Achievement in Bachelor's Degree courses may be awarded annually to the graduate with the highest academic achievement in a Bachelor's Degree course. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted medals for achievement. Applied Mathematics Medal, Michael Townsley. Environmental Studies Medal, Monica Kellaway. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Statistics with First Class Honours, Michelle Gatton. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Science in Applied Mathematics and Statistics with Second Class Honours, Division B, Nicholas Colpitz. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science in Australian Environmental Studies with first-class honours. Shannon Rutherford. Fran Stevens. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Science in Australian Environmental Studies with second-class honours, Division A, Leonie Thomas. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Graduate Diploma of Environmental Quality, Nairi Gilligan. Jodie Muir. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Master of Engineering Science in Waste Management, Paul Abbey. Hassan Khan. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Master of Environmental and Community Health, Carmel Bowfinger. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Master of Environmental Education, Sharon Bennett. Grant Brannock. Debbie Heck. Kim Menga. Kenneth Owen. Nolene Roundtree. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Master of Science in Environmental Management, Tony Booth. Jonathan Krause. Neil Sutherland. Wan Tam. Ian Waddle. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of graduates of the Faculty of Environmental Sciences.
Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Biomedical Science. Jack Bell. Jodie Ann Clancy. Chris Corcoran. Kathy Devan. Andrew Hadley. Susie Head. Effie Lee. Carol Main. Jenny Pope. Stephen Thickerson. Jose Varela. Mary Louise Whitted. Jason Wythe. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Informatics or the Bachelor of Information Technology. Michael Adams. Trent Argent. Ian Ballantyne. Todd Bloomfield. Michael Borg. Clayton Brennan. Simone Brown. Madonna Burns. Rachel Cahill. Annie Chiang. Julianne Shivers. Josephine Child. Teresa Kristen. Gary Crosby. David Drury. Richard Everly. Sherry Fazy. Craig Falls. Joe Fennis. Craig Files. Amanda Fitch. Vera Farmer. Peter Forbes. Louise French. Mark French. Darryl G. Kevin Grant. Matthew Harvest. Wayne Harvey. Stephen Henderson. Philip Hilder. Samuel Ho. Darren Hopkins. Michael Jonaski. Nada Karimi. Dietmar Kramer. Kenneth Lamb. Nat Lee. Sophia Lee. Darren Lyon. Sabine Martin. Andrew McNally. Duncan Mello. Paul Milinkovic. Khan Nugent. Rebecca Norman. David Oswald. Derek Pacuza. Locke Pham. Andrew Powell. Jason Rogers. Ashley Roll. Stephen Schumer. John Scott. Danny Shepherd. Mei Ching Shum. Helena Su. Gavin Slater. Justin Steins. Min Tai. Gregory Uppington. Seth Van Buren. Gary Watson. Joe Welsh. Timothy Whitburn. Barbara Wilson. Monica Wong. Richard Wong. Raymond Wu. Flora Wu. Benson Yin. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science. Jeff Elbeth. Melissa Argent. Robin Ayres. Hamish Baird. Alex Baker. Gary Boyd. Anthony Boyle. Nicole Bradley. Michelle Berger. Cameron Burnett. Peter Cavallaro. Stephen Kavanagh. Sorrel Cummins. Ashley Cooper. Diana Cox. Janelle Cutts. Jane Davis. Ian Davey. Gabriel Day. Stuart Devereaux. Bradley Dinty. Julie Dodd. Rebecca Dwyer Davies. Debbie Everett. Jennifer Feeney. Craig Fletcher. Kari Francis. Thomas Hayes. Tho Hoang. Brian Hogan. Robert Lakey. Alexandra Lenarchik. Catherine Ma. Janelle Matfin. Keith Murphy. Annette Nurendorf. Sean O'Sullivan. Wayne Paddock. Ross Puglisi. Randall Reed. Mick Sievers. Martin Sorensen. Gregory Watson. Shane Watts. Vicky Weston. Glenn Wetherall. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science with Aviation. Val Chikuti. David Ellis. Peter Ferraris. David Ricks. Peter Schott. Karen Summerson. Salem Tama. Jan Toft. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology. Michael Batzloff. Annette Shuwan. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science with Japanese. Anita Bayfield. Tam Dang. Joanne Neal. Michelle Peake. May Tran. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Science with Media, Lara Burnell. Chancellor, the Medal for Achievement in the Bachelor's Degree course may be awarded annually to the graduate with the highest academic achievement in a Bachelor's Degree course. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted Medals for Achievement. Information Technology Medal, Joe Fennis. Microelectronic Engineering Medal, Peter Lambert. Science Medal, Bradley Dinty. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Informatics with First Class Honours or the Bachelor of Information Technology with First Class Honours. Brett Beattie. Lisa Bell. Jennifer Gaston. Michelle Nielsen. Brian Oliver. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Information Technology with Second Class Honours, Division A, Lloyd Walker. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Bachelor of Informatics with Second Class Honours, Division B, Paul Hansen. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Microelectronic Engineering with First Class Honours. Carl Jacobs. Brendan Lilly. Stephen van der Weyer. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Microelectronic Engineering with Second Class Honours, Division A. Shane Bentley. Matthew Borman. Leon Burt. Peter Lambert. Oliver Smith. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Microelectronic Engineering with second class honours Division B, Brock Kerr. Robert McKenzie. Mario Panettiere. David Steer Griffiths. Lauren Ward. Matt Wiltshire. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science with first class honours. Anthony Cox. Brenton Hall. Ian Home. Andrew Redburn. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science with second class honours Division A. Michael Burke. Sue Ing Hee. Sonia Kaiser. Johan Kukowski. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Bachelor of Science with second class honours Division B. Stephen Calhoun. Lynette Helmore. Craig Lancaster. Pravin Sen. Bernhard Wickland. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Graduate Diploma of Clinical Biochemistry. Mario Larincevic. Todd McGregor. Kate Sievers. Karen Wright. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Graduate Diploma of Software Quality. Benjamin Fong. Chancellor, Jason C. Chancellor, I present a graduate who has been granted the Master of Science in Science, Russell Rose. Chancellor, I present graduates who have been granted the Master of Technology Management, Noeline Atwell. John Atwood. Frank Baines. Beth Barr. Bruce Aventis. Paul Cleveland. Kevin Dacey. Wendy Free. Kevin Goose. John Isaac. Kerry Nuffer. Ian Tanner. Steve Webb. Stephen Wachner. Chancellor, I present to you a graduate who has been granted the Master of Environmental and Community Health, Jane Jacobs. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of the graduates of the Faculty of Science and Technology.
I will now receive candidates for the award of the University Medal. I call upon the Chairperson Academic Committee to present the candidates.
Mr. Chancellor, the University Medal may be awarded to a graduate who has completed the requirements for both a bachelor's degree of the university and a degree with honours in recognition of academic excellence. Mr. Chancellor, I am pleased to present two graduates of the Faculty of Environmental Sciences who have been granted the 1993 University Medal. The first candidate achieved the truly exceptional maximum grade point average of 7, Michelle Louise Gatton. Shannon Rutherford. Chancellor, I present a graduate of the Faculty of Science and Technology who has been granted the 1993 University Medal, Brian Keith Oliver. Chancellor, the degree of Doctor of Philosophy is awarded to a graduate who has successfully completed a prescribed program of study, principally of research. The thesis embodying the outcomes of the research is the principal basis of examination. The degree is only awarded if the examiners are satisfied that the thesis makes a significant and original contribution to knowledge and understanding of the field of knowledge with which it is concerned. Tonight, the University is proud to honour its Doctor of Philosophy graduates who have satisfied these rigorous criteria for the award of the degree. Chancellor Alan Dale has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Environmental Sciences. In his thesis, Dr. Dale examined the systems of government grant funding for land use projects in Aboriginal communities in order to model the progress by which projects are decided upon and later implemented. The study was motivated by a high rate of commercial project failure to date. He examined project funding and outcomes in 3 Aboriginal communities in eastern Australia: Arakoon in Cape York Peninsula, Woorabinda in central Queensland, and Trelawney near Tamworth in New South Wales. Dr. Dale's findings indicate a greater need for local Aboriginal participation in project planning and later implementation, and for the better planning procedures by the agencies. Mr. Chancellor, I ask that Alan Dale be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Chancellor, Robert Lennox Mills has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Environmental Science. The mulga lands around Charleville in southwest Queensland exhibit symptoms of severe land degradation, which have recently aroused concern and action at both state and federal government level. Dr. Mills' research has contributed significantly to the identification of the nature and extent of the problem, as well as to an understanding of the processes involved. The thesis demonstrates the role of soil erosion by wind and water in land degradation, and significantly shows how the interrelationships between these processes result in soil loss and soil nutrient decline. Dr. Mills' thesis is an excellent example of the capacity for interdisciplinary academic research to solve real-world environmental problems. Mr. Chancellor, I ask that Robert Lennox Mills be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Mr. Chancellor, Nairi Robin Phillips has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Environmental Science. Dr. Phillips has examined the effect of heavy metal contamination on genetic variation in mussel populations in Lake Macquarie. Dr. Phillips demonstrated a consistent relationship between genetic structure of populations and concentration of some heavy metals, both in the field and in laboratory experiments. The study is a significant contribution to both the management of Lake Macquarie and the understanding of the potential of genetic monitoring of pollution impacts. Mr. Chancellor, I ask that Nairi Robin Phillips be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Mr. Chancellor, Kandira Faith Albert has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Science and Technology. For many years, the cross-linking of polyethylene for appliances, such as electrical installation and foams, has been induced by gamma irradiation. Recent observations show that the process effectively can be increased tenfold by carrying out the irradiation in the presence of acetylene. Dr. Albert has applied a range of modern spectroscopic techniques to investigate the fundamental chemistry of the acetylene effect. The results and their skillful interpretation are a significant contribution to our understanding of this complex process. Chancellor, I ask that Kandera Faith Albert be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Mr. Chancellor, Daisy Helene Sabinski has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Science and Technology. This study involved an examination of the capacity of bovine ephemeral fever virus and its component proteins to elicit antibodies. It has been discovered that various strains of the virus vary in their antigen sites, that this virus is related to certain exotic viruses, and that one particular protein component of the virus is able to induce protective antibodies in mice. Antibodies to this same protein also form the basis of a test for the presence of antibodies in cattle. These results are highly significant in respect of the development of a vaccine against this virus and the effective monitoring of the outbreaks of bovine imperial fever. Mr. Chancellor, I ask that Daisy Helene Sabinski be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Mr. Chancellor, Darren Grice has been granted the degree of Doctor of Philosophy taken in the Faculty of Science and Technology. Many important commercial processes are based on chemical reactions which involve free radical intermediaries. The manufacture of paints is an important example. Dr. Grice has used a radical trapping technique developed by CSIRO to develop the fundamental chemical details of copolymerization process and reactions to novel phosphorus-sintered radicals with the range of monomers and potential monomers. Such detailed knowledge is highly valuable in the quest for improving existing products and for developing new ones. Mr. Chancellor, I ask that Darren Grice be presented with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Mr. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of Doctor of Philosophy graduates.
Ladies and gentlemen, there will now be a brief musical interlude performed by the Griffith University Collegiate Singers.
Caterpillar. I'm a caterpillar of society, not a social butterfly. I can run, caterpillar, 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 caterpillar. Can you explain the reason why? I have a very healthy appetite, and I eat up all my greens, such as cabbage, lettuce, peas, and celery, cucumbers and beans. Here I go, munch, 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 delicious, chomp, 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 and so nutritious, munch, munch, and the crunch, 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 and the chomp. Here's a bean about to be a has-been. Chomp, you go, chomp, you see, succulent and juicy, dribble, it only takes a nibble. I'm red, black, and yellow, a fine-looking fellow, all because I eat my chomp, chomp. I'm a caterpillar of variety. I can juggle and sing and jump as well as run. Caterpillar, fight to be a battle rider like I am a clever kind of blood. As a dancer, I am dynamite. When I don my dancing shoes, I can disco, tango, jive, I can rock and roll. Just to read my readings, here I go. It's a beautiful he can tap, what a clever kind of chap. Beep bop, 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 beep bop. I'm red, black, and yellow, a fine-looking fellow, all because I eat my chomp, chomp, chomp. I'm a I'm a strong town steady line. I can run and run and jump and a ride a bike. I'm always running around. 30, 35, 37. That's no sweat to set. Wanna buy my illustrated Caterpillar workout cassette. Besides 3, 2, 4, try this one, guys. 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1. See me flex on my splendid head. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 3, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 3. I'm red, black, and yellow, a fine-looking fellow, all because I eat my. Oh, I love my. It's all because I eat my greens, my berries, and beans.
With the authority of the Council, I shall now confer medals for outstanding service. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor to make this presentation.
Chancellor, the Medal for Outstanding Service may be awarded to honour any member of the staff of the University or any other person who has provided exceptional service to the University in the course of the person's association with the University. Chancellor, the University is particularly honoured tonight to recognise the invaluable contributions of two people. First medal, Chancellor, to be awarded to Mrs. Catherine Williams. Chancellor Mrs. Catherine Williams, a retired English teacher with extensive experience in both England and Australia, has had a long association with Griffith University. After retirement, she studied for her second and third degrees at two different faculties of the university. She speaks a number of languages, and since part of her studies at Griffith included Indonesian, she was approached 12 years ago to assist an Indonesian postgraduate student of the Faculty of Environmental Science with English. Since that time, Mrs. Williams has helped many postgraduate and undergraduate students from both English-speaking and non-English-speaking backgrounds to improve their English comprehension and written and oral English expression. Mrs. Williams developed an excellent understanding of the varied use of English within different disciplines and has become very responsive to the needs of students of these disciplines. Mrs. Williams also effectively edited faculty manuals for students. 3 years ago, she was appointed Honorary Fellow to the faculty. The Council resolved to award the University Medal for Outstanding Service to Mrs. Kath Williams for her generous services to the University over an extended period of time. Chancellor, I present Catherine Williams for the award of the Medal for Outstanding Service. Chancellor, the second medal is to be presented to Dr. Bevan Holcomb. Dr. Bevan Holcomb, a tests and electronic systems engineer with almost 20 years' experience, accepted a request in 1988 to serve as chair of the university's newly established Microelectronic Engineering Advisory Committee. The committee was established to advise the university on the content and structure of microelectronic engineering courses and consists of representatives of industry and the university. Dr. Holcomb has not only provided active leadership to this important committee, but also played a significant role in assisting with the planning and conduct of the Industrial Affiliates Program. This program is an innovative industry-university collaborative education process which provides an interface between industry and academia. The program is a unique feature of an already unique degree course. Dr. Holcomb also played a major role in securing the funds needed to ensure the success of the Industrial Affiliates Program. The Council resolved to award the University Medal for Outstanding Service to Dr. Brian Holcomb for his generous services to the University over an extended period of time. Chancellor, I present Dr. Brian Holcomb for the award of the Medal for Outstanding Service. Chancellor, that concludes the presentation of medal recipients.
With the authority of the Council, I shall now confer the degree of Doctor of the University. I call upon the Vice-Chancellor to make this presentation.
Chancellor, the Council of the University has resolved to award the degree of Doctor of the University to Mrs. Loris Bonney. Maud Rose, or Loris Bonney, was born in Pretoria, South Africa in 1897. As a child, she moved with her family to Australia in 1906. After attending school in Melbourne, she was sent to Germany to study music and complete her education. Loris Bonney returned to Australia in 1914, marrying Harry Bonney, a Brisbane leather goods manufacturer, in 1917. It was through a meeting with her husband's cousin, the famous pilot Bert Hinkler, that her passion for flying was first nurtured. After experiencing the exhilaration of her first flight with Bert Hinkler in 1928, Loris Bonney began flying lessons in 1930 and gained her private pilot's licence nearly a year later. With the support and encouragement of her husband, and in possession of a Gypsy Moth biplane named My Little Ship, Loris Bonney created a new record in Australian aviation by flying solo from Brisbane to Wangaratta in Victoria in 1931. She completed the flight in a single day, and the 1,600 kilometres covered defeated the previous record for the longest single flight by an Australian woman by a staggering 1,000 kilometres. In 1932, Loris Bonney became the first woman to gain an Australian commercial pilot licence. In the same year, she set herself the ambitious challenge of circumnavigating Australia by air, leaving Brisbane on 15 August and returning back on 27 September. No woman had ever attempted the feat before, and Loris Bonney had to overcome bad weather conditions, engine failure in flight, and a mid-air collision to complete her record-breaking 13,000 kilometre flight. The long journey over inhospitable and unpopulated outback country required great skill and courage. With only a meagre 221 hours total flying time behind her, the project was testimony to Loris Bonney's unwavering faith in her own abilities. In recognition of this outstanding achievement, she was later to receive the Qantas Trophy for the most meritorious performance by a Queensland pilot during 1932. Loris Bonney's next history-making flight, again in her tiny Gypsy Moth, was from Australia to England. She became the first woman to make the solo flight, showing infinite resource in the face of constant danger. She narrowly avoided a fatal accident when forced to crash land in the surf of a small island off the coast of Malaya, as it then was. Once again, her indomitable will came to the fore, and after having her plane completely rebuilt in Calcutta, Loris Bonney continued her gruelling journey to England. Her successful flight in approximately 10 weeks was even more remarkable when considered in the light of the primitive conditions under which aviation was conducted in the 1930s, with no radio contact, no parachute, an open cockpit, and only a compass for guidance and direction. In 1937, Loris Bonney added a further milestone to her memorable career by becoming the first person to fly solo from Australia to South Africa. The incredible journey of 29,000 kilometres in just under 211 flying hours was undoubtedly the most significant and the most difficult of all her flights. As a mark of respect for her pioneering effort, she was presented with the Air Force badge by the Royal South African Air Force. The fact that no person has flown over the same route in 50 years since that time is a tribute to the demanding nature and complexity of this heroic accomplishment. Loris Bonney's career in aviation came to a premature end when her plane was destroyed in a hangar fire at Archerfield in 1939. The advent of the Second World War forced a further 7-year break in her flying life. However, by the time she retired from aviation, Loris Bonney had already earned her place as a pioneer of light aircraft long-distance flying. In recent years, her significant contributions to the history of aviation have been recognised. She was appointed as a member of the Order of Australia in 1991 and has also now received international acclaim for her efforts. An annual Bonney Trophy is awarded among British flyers. Her name is engraved on America's famous Flyers Wall, and her achievements are recognised by the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. Although her deeds were overshadowed by those of her male counterparts in the 1930s and failed to receive the plaudits they deserved, Loris Bonney proved herself to be a woman ahead of her time. Her successful efforts to break through the constrictions of expected social norms for women were as daring and refreshing as her exploits in the sky. Loris Bonney's view of life during this period is probably best expressed in her own words: "If you set your mind on something, you can achieve it. There is no such word as can't." Loris Bonney passed away in February of this year at the age of 96. She will be sadly missed by all who knew her. In view of the University's commitment to the development of aviation studies, it is especially fitting that we should honour one of the great pioneering figures in Australian aviation, the late Loris Bonney. Chancellor, we are now to view a video of aspects of Loris Bonney's career before we have the presentation. Thank you.
Mrs. Harry Bonney, Queensland's famous airwoman, with a number of notable flights to her credit, leaves for Darwin on the first lap of her flight to South Africa, first seeing that all is well with my little ship.
I wouldn't say I was a wonderful flyer or anything. I had faith. I wanted to do it. What more do you want?
What more? Well, she had courage and a lot of cunning. In Brisbane in 1930, it just wasn't proper for a socialite to don leather and goggles and fly. But Mrs. Laurie Bonney was a bored housewife. Her husband Harry played golf every Sunday near Eagle Farm. So this artful little lady persuaded him to drop her near the airport.
And then every Sunday, my husband innocently dropped me at the aerodrome without a thought that I was learning to fly.
What did you think he was doing?
Watching the planes, that's all.
In 1931, she became even more devious, securing hubby's consent for her to fly solo around Australia. You see, the Bonnies lived in Brisbane, but Harry's mum was in Perth.
I said to my husband, I thought the mood was there. I'd love to fly across and see Motherkins. And he said, well, why don't you? Now let that sink in for a while. And then you're getting bored.
No, I'm not getting bored. Where was Motherkins, though?
I was just about to tell you. Now, don't be so impetuous.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Motherkins was in Western Australia. And so my husband said, it's a very good idea. And as I said before, I let that sink in. And then when I thought the time was right, I said, it's awfully silly to fly the same route twice. I think I'd like to have a look at Darwin.
And that little bit of shenanigans is how Mrs. Bonney became the first woman to fly solo around Australia. Just before that flight, she'd asked Charles Kingsford Smith what he thought of her chances.
Well, he literally said, well, if you've got the G, you might.
You've got the G?
Yes, G is for guts, and it's a word I dislike. I admit he was a magnificent pilot, but I'm afraid I can't say that about the man, the way he treated me.
And so Mrs. Bonney departs to add, it is hoped, to the laurels already gained by Australian flyers.
In 1933, she became the first woman to fly Australia to England, all alone, without a radio, in a cardboard box that she called My Little Ship.
What was My Little Ship to you?
My child. I loved it. Took me everywhere. Excepting that I got into a bit of a mess at, just south of Thailand.
On her way to England, she crash-landed on a remote beach off Thailand. Surrounded by natives who'd never seen a plane, nor a white woman, she was stuck for 4 whole months.
I lived with the natives and I loved every minute of it. Oh dear, if I'd been the Queen of Sheba, they couldn't have been kinder to me. I was almost sorry when they found me.
Almost 60 years ago, this museum piece took Mrs. Bonney on her first flight, piloted by her cousin, the late Bert Hinkler.
I'm so glad, because he was a magnificent pilot, as was Smithy. They're both gone. Melrose and all those that I knew so well. Ulm. Gives you a funny feeling. Why was I saved? Must have been too naughty for heaven.
Laurie Bonney refuses to fly these days. She can't drive them, so she doesn't trust anyone else. But Brisbane Airport has a Bonney room, a tribute to the craftiest little socialite that Australia has ever known.
What's it like having a room named after you?
Oh, well, it's very flattering. I'm very grateful.
Well, this is a pretty fair sort.
I hope so. I did my best.
Chancellor of the University's invitation to Mrs. Bonney to accept an honorary doctorate of the University was conveyed to Mrs. Bonney in the last weeks of her life by her biographer, Mr. Terry Gwyn Jones, and she died shortly after. Mr. Terry Gwyn Jones, Chancellor, friend and biographer of Mrs. Loris Bonney, has agreed to be presented with the degree of Doctor of the University on behalf of Mrs. Loris Bonney.
I now call on the Vice-Chancellor to introduce the guest speaker.
Chancellor, we're honoured to have Mr. Graham McMahon as our guest speaker for this evening's graduation. Mr. McMahon was appointed Ansett Transport Industries Managing Director and Chief Executive in November 1992. He had been ATI Chief General Manager, responsible for ATI Group Aviation since September 1991, having earlier been appointed General Manager in August 1988. Mr. McMahon came to the airline's top management post with a background of experience gained since joining the airline in 1956. He was engaged in the finance area during his early years with Ansett, holding a series of senior positions including Chief Accountant and Finance Manager and Controller. Mr. McMahon was appointed Assistant General Manager in 1978 and accepted responsibility for finance, engineering, administrative and policy concerns of the airline. He became Deputy General Manager in 1983, and his responsibility then included Ansett's overseas operations. He played a major role in the establishment of Ansett New Zealand, having the satisfaction of seeing that airline created and moved to a first-class operation in only 11 months. Born and educated in Melbourne, Graham McMahon is a Fellow of the Australian Society of Accountants, Fellow of the Australian Institute of Transport, and a Director of Ansett Transport Industries Limited and Travelland. Mr. McMahon was appointed to the Board of Tourism Victoria, formerly the Victorian Tourist Commission, in October 1992. Chancellor, it gives me very great pleasure to invite Mr. McMahon to deliver the occasional address.
Chancellor John McCrasson, Deputy Chancellor Norm Fussell, Vice-Chancellor Ray Webb, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. May I begin by saying that when I accepted the university's kind invitation to speak here tonight, I did it with some trepidation. I was always taught that a good speaker should know more than his audience, and to confront an audience of eager young graduates about to go out in the world and lead us into the 20th century is daunting indeed. On top of that, I stand as a long-serving aviation man talking to an audience of graduates that includes aviation graduates, and I'm certainly not one of those. And finally, and probably to compound the challenge even more, I'm a Victorian in a room full of Queenslanders, and you know all about Victoria in the past, and here I am telling Queenslanders how to prepare for the future. Tonight, you look forward to the prospects for which you have studied and have prepared you to go out into the world. However, in honouring aviation pioneer Loris Bonney, we also pause to recognise that tomorrow's achievements continue along the path which had its origins carved by many previous generations. It's worth pausing for a moment to recall that Mrs. Bonney took 10 weeks to travel from Australia to England in 1933, flying in an aircraft with an open cockpit, no radio, at speeds roughly the equivalent of a small motorcar. Aviation was only just beginning to shatter the tyranny of distance in those days. Indeed, Ansett first airline service in 1936 was a relatively modest hop also, from Hamilton in Western Victoria to Melbourne in a single-engined, open cockpit aircraft. Mrs. Bonney was one of many great Australian aviation pioneers and heroes. Sir Reginald Ansett, whom I was proud to know for many years, the founder of what is today Australia's largest domestic airline and the nation's newest international airline, was fresh back from survey work in the Northern Territory when he went into aviation. He also was a great pioneer of aviation in this country, as also was Charles Kingford Smith, who was also mentioned on the video. He made headlines around the world with his high-flying, heroic feats, and he was for a time a household name throughout Europe and an Australian face recognised around the world. Australia was then a vast distance from the rest of the world and fiercely proud of its new sense of independence. Its heroes were rugged individualists who could show the world the way, and indeed did. However, the world moves on. The exploits of Australia's aviation heroes paved the way for a modern airline industry based on the highest levels of high-tech excellence, driven by modern managers in their fields of finance, computer technology, engineering, personnel management, sales, marketing, etc. Today's pilots no longer fly aircraft by the seat of their pants, and neither, I can assure you, do airline managers today. Today's managers are commercial professionals who must recognise above all the need to be flexible, to be able to adapt, to be able to recognise change, to create strategies relevant to the changing times, to changing markets and changing consumer expectations. All of us tend to take today's lifestyle for granted, and that includes air travellers who can be here today and anywhere in the world tomorrow. Indeed, many of you who no doubt will be destined to become frequent flyers in the future, as you develop your careers, you might find yourselves on aircraft such as that was recently talked about in newspapers and televisions, a triple-deck super jumbo. For those of you who missed it, that aircraft will look like a huge ship. Aviation planners consider that it will feature onboard cinema, shops, offices, casinos, flying high and far, and those dreams are not far-fetched. I can assure you that technology exists today. Today's aircraft may look similar to those that flew 20 to 30 years ago, but that is not what really is going on behind the scenes. Future aircraft development may see hybrid helicopter-style aircraft take off from central city heliports swivel their vertical rotors to become forward-facing propellers and fly away like a conventional propeller aircraft, happening in the United States today. We might see the 800-seat jet. Probably will, if someone can find the $22 billion to develop it and the further $15 billion to finalise the power plants to push it. These monsters will actually need fold-up wings in order to park next to the terminals, and will make extensive use of lightweight composite materials to give them a range in excess of 15,000 kilometres without refuelling. If they are developed, they will certainly help congestion. An 800-seat aircraft takes less landing space and airspace than 4 200-seaters, but they also require huge infrastructure developments on the ground, quite obviously. While probably multi-storied, these aircraft could simply be very wide. Airbus today is looking at a double bubble concept, linking 2 fuselages side by side. Airbus has also looked at a giant batwing, with the passengers actually sitting inside the wing, and tunnel models have already been built to prove that concept in its own right. Speed is also being looked at by the researchers. Expensive, new supersonic technology could be taking off within 15 years. NASA, for instance, in the United States, believes that 200 to 300-seat aircraft flying at 60,000 feet at a speed of 2,500 kilometres an hour will probably be the best combination of technology and economics. To fly these aircraft, advanced materials capable of standing heats of 205 degrees Celsius will be necessary as they fly through the upper skies. London in 8 hours is almost unbelievable to us today, but the technology of the space program already allows it to be developed if the world wants to go ahead with it. All of these developments will require global cooperation. The prohibitive costs are already resulting in manufacturers around the world today talking to one another about the ways in which they may be able to cooperate to build such aircraft. Modern aviation brings the world together. Aviation technology of the future will probably only appear if the world works together. By early next century, we here tonight will not recognise the aviation systems that are being utilised. Those of you graduating tonight are looking forward to careers that will take you well into the next century. We at ANZET employ many new graduates, and I'm pleased to say that many of those have come from Griffith universities, and many of them have been successful in the various fields of endeavour that they've undertaken within the ANZET group. We also hire and train many non-graduates in the 13,000 people who work within the aviation industry with ANZET. However, our message to new employees, whether graduates or non-graduates, is consistent, regardless of the amount of training they have had when they arrive. And that message today is that flexibility is essential in a career as it is in corporate planning. Today's new graduates and new generation managers must be flexible. As the saying goes, the one constant today is change. Technological advances mean those of you graduating tonight will need to keep your knowledge up to date as the years pass. Modern corporations also need to keep up to date as well to be able to assess and change the strategies and remain relevant to their markets at all times. The people within those corporations, accordingly, need appropriate skills to help their companies adjust and adapt. We have an aviation theme this evening, and aviation in general, and ANZET in particular, offers quite an excellent case on this particular topic. Our history at ANZET, since we started in 1936, back at the time of Mrs. Bonney's pioneering flights, has been characterised by successful adaptation to changing market trends and changing customer expectations, changing government aviation policy, and changing technology. Aviation has recently been characterised by significant corporate crashes, as once great companies have failed to come to terms with the fast-changing environments in which they've had to live in the last 10 years or so. Many of you will recall the proud name of Pan American, which was for decades the global symbol of successful commercial aviation. But it's gone. It's broke and it's disappeared. Amazingly, in the United States, since 1978, when they deregulated the aviation industry, well in excess of 200 separate airlines have gone broke and disappeared. Two significant Australian government aviation policy changes in recent years have resulted us in changing the way we do business in quite fundamentally different ways, and they illustrate my point about needing to adapt to change in everything we do in the business world today. First was domestic deregulation in 1990, which followed nearly 50 years of close economic control of the domestic airlines of Australia. The numerous obligations swept away included requirements to serve certain routes, external setting of airfares outside of the airlines, controls on the number of seats we were allowed to fly, and even controls on the quantity of discounts that anyone was allowed to offer from time to time. Under the new rules, new airlines were able to be set up, and two came and went very quickly. The judgment on Australia's airline deregulation is probably best summarised in a Prices Surveillance Authority report published just 2 weeks ago. That report found that the average cost of domestic travel in Australia following deregulation is some 24% cheaper in real terms today than it was in 1990. Passenger traffic in that short time has increased by 64%, and the market shares of the airlines have changed quite dramatically in that environment. The decision of the federal government to deregulate aviation deserves all of the credit for generating these benefits. The number of airlines which operate in a deregulated market have little to do with what happens in aviation. It is the steps taken by the management of the firms that are operating in that atmosphere that really counts. At this stage, we've kept ahead of the massive changes necessary and imposed by domestic deregulation. To do so has necessitated Ansett to radically change how we manage our business. As with our aircraft, computer technology has been the way that we have been able to adapt and change and stay abreast of the times. More recently, the further change by the government has seen the move to merge Qantas and Australian Airlines and has removed the long-standing barrier between domestic and international aviation. We at Ansett now have the first opportunity to fly internationally, something which Sir Reginald Ansett tried for 20 years to achieve but was unable to see in his lifetime. We have already commenced to fly to Bali, and we now look forward to taking up the approvals which have been granted for us to fly, probably with other airlines as well, to destinations such as Japan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, etc., commencing before the end of this year. These are exciting new opportunities, but on the other side of the coin, we obviously face great competition, for we as a domestic airline will be stepping out into the world of international aviation, and those airlines are both big and good. So while we still come to terms with domestic changes introduced in 1990, we've also now got to tackle the changes and the challenges coming from international competitors. To do so, we have had to radically change the face of the airline in order to fit in with the environment in which we are operating. And we've also had to do almost amazing things in our yield management areas using computer technology to drive the revenue of the business. As we came into deregulation, we found that we had systems, costs that were appropriate to regulation. They needed to be changed, and accordingly the whole of the airline had to adapt, just like other businesses are adapting as we go on towards the 21st century. Overlaying our adaptation to major changes in the policy environment has been the continual need to adapt also to customer expectations. Aviation in this country has changed dramatically in that area in the last 10 years, and both of the airlines have received accolades from all over the world for the style of the product which is offered in this country today, which truly, in my belief, offers Australian travellers the best domestic product available anywhere in the world. Passengers reacted strongly to the changes which took place through the 80s, but they continue to expect more and more in that regard, and a further challenge for the executives working in aviation today is to find ways to meet those expectations. What was revolutionary airline service at the beginning of the 80s is today taken for granted. And once again, we will need to be flexible to accept that change has to come. It is indeed mandatory as we go on. In concluding, I return to your university's theme of preparing you for a better future. In considering this theme, I've tried very briefly to use some aviation examples to illustrate that preparing for the future will necessarily include being prepared to be flexible enough to change to meet the changing technological and changing market conditions as you go on in the various business enterprises with which you'll be associated. Companies and individuals must today have the perception to identify the need to change and then have the courage to follow those convictions. Those of you graduating this evening deserve enormous congratulations for reaching the stage that you have. But as you leave here tonight, I ask you to please remember you have reached a stage and not an end point in your education and your development. Congratulations, best wishes, and may you all fly successfully through the careers in your life. Thank you very much.
Chancellor, it's my pleasure on behalf of all of us tonight to offer to Mr McMahon our thanks for his address this evening and in particular for his message to our graduates. I have to say at the beginning of these remarks that Mr McMahon is here tonight courtesy of Qantas, who had the only available plane at the particular time that he had to come up. The message that Mr McMahon has given us is for all our graduates tonight. We have, of course, had a smallish 8, I think, number of graduates from our Science with Aviation area, and many graduates from other schools, but I'm sure in Mr McMahon's address all our graduates have found inspiration for their careers. Our scientists can, of course, relate to the fantastic stories of the types of aircraft that we will see in the future, multi-storey, enormously wide, double bubbles, and did I hear sitting in the wings is a distinct possibility. And to achieve these things we will of course need the contribution of our scientists. We'll need the contribution of our technology managers to translate these scientific developments into operational effect, and of course Griffith tonight celebrates the graduation of a large number of graduates in technology management. I'm sure our environmentalists will be interested, Mr McMahon, in what these giant planes are going to leave behind them as they sail through the air, and they'll be close on our tail and on your tail to make sure that the world is livable in as we travel so quickly around it and through it. And of course our information technology people, you have acknowledged, are essential to getting it all together in this computer technology age. There is therefore, I suggest, Chancellor, food for thought for all of us tonight and for all strands of our science and technology and environmental area. We thank Mr McMahon for coming to us on this very important occasion, and ladies and gentlemen, would you join again in thanking him for his address. My pleasure to add my personal congratulations to all our graduates, to wish them every success in their very prospective careers and to exhort them to join the Griffith University Alumni Association and stay with us through those careers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a moment, the Griffith University Collegiate Singers will sing the traditional student song Gaudiamus Sigatur. Please rise as the singers enter and remain standing during the singing. Members of the audience who wish to do so are invited to join in the singing of the song, whose words appear on page 27 of your program. Ladies and gentlemen, the ceremony is now concluded. When the fanfares begin, please remain standing as the Deus Party, the staff procession and the graduates retire. Thank you.